Hello Commanders, today a little bit of a change up here. We're going to be doing a little bit of a time lapse here just because it's outfitting, and we're outfitting the Beluga today. So it's I'm doing it a little bit differently. I don't have access to Jamison Memorial, and I figured I'd try to make something to the best of my abilities of basically outfitting a ship, basically what it takes, especially if you don't have access to Jamison Memorial or just know of a port where they carry absolutely everything. So I went to a little bit of like Lee Young space. I went a little bit over the Empire space. I went all over the place. As you can see here, we had just gotten basically a power distributor, and I couldn't really do anything better than a power plant than like a 60, and basically really nothing else. I didn't have anything else there that I wanted, so I went here to my very first choice, which was a high-tech system, and it had a decent population. And right here you can see me basically struggling to believe that it is I think it's 19 jumps away or something, and yeah, it's right there. Yeah, 19 jumps. And yeah, I was completely astonished. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I was just like, well, here we go on another. It's basically just as difficult as finding the Beluga itself. It was a challenge and a half. But yeah, as you can see, I really hadn't moved since I last picked this ship up because it had burnt me out trying to find it. This here burnt me out a little bit as well because I wasn't expecting it to take me as long as it did. I basically had been recording for about, I think it was like an hour and 45 minutes just to find the stuff that I had needed. But yeah, as you can see here, we're now the second port. This is the high-tech system, and I have to admit, I do like these, what are these Delta, I have no idea how many sides it has. The Delta, I have no idea, but the D dice, that's all I can say. Type stations, especially when they're red, because being from the Empire, they're usually kind of a bit blue, or if you go to the Alliance side, they're slightly greenish, if I remember correctly. They're a bit, I don't know, a bit like that. You can see me here struggling to properly land this because I wasn't actually paying attention to the bottom. A little holographic there, and yeah, I could have done a little bit better, but meh. You win some, you lose some, you learn. But yeah, here basically we get some thrusters. We try to get thrusters. They don't really carry anything besides the 7Cs, and they don't, like, nothing I could find. I couldn't find a 6A power plant, which is something that I really wanted, and I could not find a luxury cabins, which is something else I really wanted. I even went, I'm not sure if I keep it in, but towards the end here you will see basically I go to a like a tourist hotspot, and it has like a huge population, but they carry absolutely no cabins whatsoever, which was a total letdown. But you can see me here basically fitting it out and finding that you cannot actually change the slots to where these actual normal cabins are to anything else like I had in my build on the beta, which was kind of a shock to me because I was expecting to put on like a certain fuel scoop and some other stuff to make it a little bit nicer. But apparently they have changed that since then, or at least since I played, and I think that was beta 2 or beta 1 when I did first impressions of it. But yeah, so I basically fit it out here with a couple pulse lasers, a beam laser, and a multi-cannon. Why a beam laser? Well, just because I kind of wanted one, and I had the power to spare. And it's just nice to have something that shoots constantly that will drain the shields, while the other ones just kind of shoot like little Gatling guns. But yeah. And I definitely put on some shield boosters. I looked for A's. I don't think they're actually at this station if I remember correctly. But yeah, I put on some class A shield boosters, some chaff launchers, some heat. I don't actually, no, I just did point defenses. I didn't do heat sink launchers. I struggled with that choice too. I was actually planning to do heat sink launchers, but I just did not for reasons unknown to myself actually. But yep, I had some decals because I felt it'd be kind of interesting. Add some from my Cobra kit and my Trader rank, and then I went with the mostly harmless combat rank just because I felt like it was, kind of fit the ship. As one, it didn't have any combat rating, and two, it just it was funny to me at the time, like, oh, this would be kind of cool. And then, you just open up on whatever unsuspecting ship is there, take them out. I mean, they can obviously see you're dangerous, but, it just helps with the theme. Right here I set my, my power efficiencies. Basically I set every weapon or, weapon type thing to class 2 or power efficiency 2 or whatever the heck it's called. And I set like the fuel scope to like 3 or 4, at least the very last one, and everything I could do. And here I'm mapping out my trip to my very last, if I remember correctly, actually I think I do 2 more, but my very last station actually carries anything of any use. But other than that, it's just been it's been a crazy trip. I wish it had been, you know, a bit easier and, you know, a bit more fruitful, but you can always pause on the stations actually to figure out where I'm at, where I'm getting these parts and accessories. I might write them in the description, or at least if somebody asks me to, I will definitely go through and write all of their names in the description below the system, hopefully if I have that here, and I will write the station as well that I go to. Some of the stuff is half off though, since I am in Lee Young space. It's the only reason why I came up here, but it is proved to me that they only carry, you know, military hardware and carry nothing for at least the luxury cabins, or at least I was not sure where to find it. Like, if you do have like a better idea of where to get gear, you know, like luxury cabins and everything that isn't super far in Empire, or not Empire space, but Federation space, because I do hang out in the Empire and I don't mind going all the way up there, but this thing has quite poor jump range. It's like taking out, you know, the FTL. Like, I mean, I might actually, wow. When I was messing around here, I was messing around with a couple of the settings that were driving me nuts since, you know, the update that I had not messed with yet. No, but if you do know where to, you know, pick some stuff up that's, you know, close to the middle of the bubble, kind of, you know, where Lee Young space is to the Empire, since that's my area, I basically just don't want to, you know, travel too far. It's like traveling in FTL, like I was, or FDL, sorry, is what I was trying to say. And it's not a fun experience. Like, I don't mind taking, you know, switching out to my ASP, or, you know, just something that can jump, and then I will, you know, call to have my ship transferred up there and then, you know, go back and forth, which is pretty inefficient in itself, but it still, to me, is better than, you know, wasting the time to, you know, just get this ship, you know, where it needs to go. At least right now, when I first found out that it had like a 9 light year jump range, it was ridiculous. And as you can see here, what I'm basically doing is getting my fuel scoop, my passenger cabins, my planetary vehicle hangar, which is quite nice. Not planetary vehicle hangar, my fighter hangar, which they did not actually have the I wanted the the Taipan for the ship specifically, and I was thinking about possibly putting in one Empire fighter as well, since I have the 2 slots. But yeah, that's what I was, you know, planning to fit this out with. Doesn't mean you can pause anywhere just to see, you know, what exactly I'm putting in. I do put in 1 more cabin for, you know, economy class. I mean, you can you know, you can add 2 more economy class slots. I just added in a auto docking computer because I'm way too lazy for that, and I added in a what do you want to call it? A scanner. There we go. An advanced discovery scanner. It's been forever since I've you know, I guess it hasn't really been that long since I went exploring. It was right before the last beta, which was, yeah, it's actually months ago. It's like in August when the beta dropped. It was ridiculous, actually. I was like rushing to get back. But I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I saw, you know, some money left over. But what I'm going to be working on next is a few passenger missions. And I will definitely keep looking, you know, for the stuff here that I cannot find. And if I do find it, I'll put it like in the description of where to, you know, possibly find it if I do hear or see. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some trading here in the future, which I know is incredibly boring, but I really want some Jamison Memorial, so I can, you know, at least find stuff if I absolutely need it, especially for videos, for, you know, to make them for you guys. Because I'm not worried about, you know, making money, because I mean, it is grind work, but you can definitely do it pretty easily. At least nowadays you can. Like, when I first started, it was such an uphill battle. Like, once you get to the part where you can get a slightly bigger ship, like even the Python, I mean, then you can start raking in some decent money. I mean, you can definitely go with, you know, the T9, the T6, or the T7, but those just, you know, I like a little bit of combat too, at least especially at that time. I was completely into combat, and you can see me here just trying to figure out where they might actually have them. So I'm just comparing population sizes right now, and this is the one that I find, and find that it does not carry anything that I actually want, which is quite honestly depressing. But yeah, but yeah, it's super easy to make money here now, and yeah, I don't really know. The game has changed quite a bit since I originally started. I mean, I started playing back in 1.3 when they had just brought out Power Play, which, I mean, I was kind of into, kind of wasn't into. I mean, I was still super weak, flying an Adler, the Sidewinders, and finally worked my way up to a Cobra, which it was my goal to get a Clipper for the longest time, because I really wanted it so I could do, like, you know, combat missions and trade missions because I was going to use it for that. I know there were better ships at the time, but I was really into the Empire. And when I finally got it, there was a deal actually going on and made it so you didn't need anything other than like Surf Rank 2, which was the reason why I was trying so hard to get it. Because I had no idea if I was, you know, eventually going to work up to, you know, whatever I'm at now. I think I'm a Duke. But back then it was a bit harder for me because I just wasn't sure what to do back then, how to, you know, earn rank other than combat in specific areas. But yeah, I don't know, it was different. But once I got that, I finally started working, and I went actually out exploring and took it to Sag A and a little further out than that and took it back. And that was actually a pretty interesting trip because, I mean, it was my first time exploring, first time at the bubble. I mean, all I had money for was basically the ship, so if it would have gotten blown up at any point in the time here, I probably would have had to start over, you know, back with a Sidewinder, or I guess I kept my Cobra. So I mean, I would have had to stop, you know, gone out with a Cobra because I sold my Vulture to get the Clipper, and it was just, yeah, it was a weird transition. But yeah, on another note, sorry about that random tangent there. I guess I will see you guys all next time. Do let me know if you want to see anything